That's all, Rodney hissed back. I mean, this bloke we're going to see, this Justin, he's not going to be asking me anything about my private life, that sort of thing, is he? Dell waved a ring-encrusted hand dismissively. Of course he ain't. We're not that private, are we? He's not going to want to know about you and Cassandra's little problems. Rodney's head snapped toward his brother. What problems? Me and Cassandra haven't got any problems. That's not what you said to me the other night, Dell countered, a predatory glint in his eye. All right, so there's been one or two minor hiccups in the bedroom department, Rodney conceded, his voice dropping to a desperate whisper. But they're personal, and I told you in confidence. Dell smirked, adjusting his signet ring. All right, keep your hair on. I'm not going to be telling him about jiffins and things, and I won't tell him what Cassandra wears either. Before Rodney could articulate his growing dread, the door swung open. Justin entered, looking busy and important, clutching a leather-bound folder. Sorry to keep you waiting, Justin said, though he didn't sound sorry at all. It's been a particularly busy morning. Now, I've got all the basic details about your business career, etc. But what I'd like to do is to get an insight into the real you, how you started, how you became so successful, but more importantly, your lives and your raison d'etre. Dell nodded sagely, though the French phrase passed through his mind like a ghost through a wall. Oh, no, Laboratory Garney. I understand perfectly. Justin gestured to them both. So, in your own words and in your own time. Dell leaned forward, the storyteller taking the stage. Well, where shall I start? Justin. Well, up to a few years ago. We were just very ordinary people living. Well, very ordinary lives. Weren't we, Rodney? Rodney nodded slowly, his mind drifting back to the days of one-bedroom flats and suitcase trading. And then Dell continued, his voice dropping to a theatrical whisper. One day I discovered an historic and almost priceless artifact, an Harrison watch. At first, we didn't know what to do with it. To begin with, we thought about donating it to the British Museum as a national treasure. Rodney cleared his throat. Yeah, and then we decided to flog it. Exactly, Dell beamed. So, before you know it, Rodders and me have come into an eye on £6.5 million. Chapter 2. The Central American Mirage. We had to start thinking about our future, Dell explained to Justin, who was scribbling notes furiously. So, we sought out this city stockbroker, and he advised us to invest in a new and vibrant venture. It was a Central American market. It was attracting massive funds from all over the world. We were making more money than a royal mint. In Dell's mind, the memories played out like a glossy travel brochure. He saw himself and Raquel, Rodney and Cassandra, and young Damien living the high life. He remembered the luxury hotels, the palm trees, and the constant thrum of Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca playing in the background. It was a time of gold-plated everything and champagne for breakfast. But even then, there were signs of the coming storm. He remembered Damien the Littlegit weeing into a hotel swimming pool from the top of a 4-meter diving board. He remembered the hollow luxury of a life without a hustle. Uncle Albert, bless him, had been living in sin with Elsie Partridge down on the coast, presumably telling her wartime stories until her ears bled. And then Dul's face darkened, just as everything seemed to be going so well. Something terrible happened. Negotiations between the Central American countries collapsed. Rodney interjected, the voice of cold reality. The market was wiped out. Nicked the lot. We'd even paid for the hotel on a credit card, which had now been withdrawn. The fall had been faster than the rise. The news hit the UK via the internet before they could even pack their bags. Suddenly, their business associates weren't returning calls. They were cast into a financial wilderness. Fortunately, Dell said, trying to regain his dignity, we come from a strong community. Our friends in Peckham were as gutted as us. Take Mike Fisher, the landlord of the Nag's Head. He invested his life savings, remortgaged the pub. And will Mr. Fisher be giving evidence? Justin asked. No. Dell sighed. He's in prison, awaiting trial. The fraud squad claims he tried to recoup his losses by embezzling the brewery. Never was a man more innocent. He confessed to everything. Dell, Rodney added helpfully. Chapter 3, The Halls of Justice. The courtroom was a cold, cavernous space that smelled of old paper and failed ambitions. Outside, the Peckham crew, Trigger, Denzel, and Sid paced the corridors like a collection of nervous suspects. For God's sake, Denzel, sit down, Albert snapped. You're wearing the marble out. I can't, Albert, can I? Denzel replied, his face a mask of anxiety. I've never been a character witness before. And you think we have? Sid grunted. I'm worried, Denzel continued. I think Dul's made a terrible mistake, having us for his character witnesses. It's like inviting the Manson family to dinner. Trigger, staring blankly at a fire extinguisher, nodded. I'm going to tell them I hear voices. No, Trig, you're not on trial, Sid groaned. You're a character witness. I know, Trigger said simply, but I hear voices. Inside the courtroom, the legal machinery ground onward. The Trotters had lost everything. Their company-owned properties were gone. Dul's estate with the peacocks was a memory. Rodney's riverside flat was a dream. Due to my foresight, Dell told the judge some years previously I had bought another property, so at least we had somewhere to live. It's called our old flat, Rodney muttered. Nelson Mandela House. The return to the high-rise was a bitter pill. Every day brought more rows, more bad news. They thought things couldn't get worse. Chapter 4. A fair